guys, my name is Shay and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be reviewing Good Trouble Season 3, Episode 9, Driver's Seat. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get it! The episode starts off with all the coterie members driving like in a video game. Callie's character is driving and Kelly speeds by her in a monster truck. Callie swerves trying not to hit Kathleen and Jamie, but gets into a wreck anyway. Mariana picks her up and Callie pushes her over and gets in the driver's seat. It shows different shots of Alice in the car with her mother, Zumi, and Ruby. Alice is in the car with Ruby and she has total heart eyes. The next shot, it shows no one in the car driving, but Alice is in the car passenger seat and she gets into a wreck as well. Davia comes to a stop and she sees Dennis on the left and Matt on her right. And she's panicking, not knowing which direction to go, and her car breaks down. Gael is riding his bike and Yuri speeds by him in a Porsche and does like a little funny face. Gael passes by Callie and Mariana and they gaze at each other while the Hallelujah song is playing. Hilarious. Callie makes a sharp U-turn and Mariana falls out of the car and into Evan's arms. Callie tries to drive up the hill to meet Gael, but her car doesn't make it and it starts rolling down the hill. She sees Tony and runs him over, but then she sees him at the hood of the car, so he didn't die. And then here comes our girl Kelly again in the monster truck, speeding by, and Callie gets dust all over her face and her car. And this opening scene just had me cracking up. Like, man, it was funny. It was funny. Callie, Mariana, Davia, Alice, Kelly, and Gael are playing a fun game of Woken Broke, similar to Monopoly. Mariana tells Callie that she bought their moms a 1-year subscription to the Candle of the Month Club. Callie questions her why she didn't ask her first, and it flashes to Mariana suggesting ideas for gifts for their mom, and Callie shuts down every idea. Back to reality, Mariana says that the place was having a 1-hour pop-up sale and that she didn't want to miss out. Tony shows up to the coterie, and finally I get this guy's name because for the longest, for so many episodes now, I've been calling him Callie's coworker, and now I finally know his name, so good to know. Tony and Callie leave to go do real life with their murder case. Davia suggested Gael that he make his move on Callie before somebody else does. Kelly makes up a rule that when a player leaves the game early, their winnings go to the person with the most piercings. And I'm like, okay, Kelly. Okay. Gael gets a text from Yuri saying, "Where are you?" And Gael gets up to leave on his night off. Tony, Callie, and Merwin are in the car, and Tony asks them if they think that their client Tommy is innocent or guilty. Both Callie and Merwin disagree, and it flashes to their meeting with Tommy and his parents in Kathleen's office. Tommy's father is doing all the talking, and Kathleen says that she will want to hear from Tommy himself. Tommy says that he didn't hurt his best friend Zach. Kathleen asks him how did he feel being replaced as the quarterback, and Tommy replies that he was angry. He says that he was angry with himself but not at Zach. He says that he and Zach were horsing around like they always did and that they weren't arguing. He says that he left the party before 11 to get some beer, and when he came back, he didn't see Zach. He mentions that he was with Katie the whole time. He says that he couldn't have done it because he wasn't even there. Kathleen gives Callie, Tony, and Rowan the job of driving to and from the liquor store that Tommy went to on that night and record the time. She tells them that if they find any discrepancies, they can build a novel defense off that. They all arrive at the liquor store and record the time. They go inside and put 2 cases of beer on the counter. Tony tells the clerk that they aren't actually buying the beer, and Rowan mentions that they are lawyers. Rowan says that they will using this as a timeline for a case and that they will purchase some Tic Tacs. Callie takes pictures of the security camera footage on her cell phone. They leave the liquor store and go to the woods where the party took place that night. They all go to the area and question whether or not Tommy did the crime with a rock or whether Zach just up and fell. Tony asks Callie why she thinks Tommy is innocent, and it flashes to Callie coming over to Tommy. Tommy apologizes for his dad being so intense and says that his father is just scared. Callie assumes that Tommy feels scared as well, and he gets emotional. Back to reality, Callie tells Tony that she doesn't know why, but it's just her woman intuition. Gael comes into Yuri's studio and he yells at him for not painting the piece he told him to paint. Yuri says that he placed too much faith in him and says that he will put the painting in storage. Mariana, Alice, and Kelly are still playing Woken Broke, and Kelly gets mad and says that the game is rigged. Mariana tells Kelly that she is the one who created the game, and Kelly dramatically storms off. And Alice and Mariana catch up. Alice tells Mariana that her and Ruby are over. She mentions that she tried to take the wheel and was in the driver's seat for a while by pretending that she was dating somebody else. It worked for a while, but now Ruby broke things off and that they are both now driving but in different cars. Mariana gives Alice advice to know what she wants and asks for it. Mariana asks Alice if she has any plans tomorrow night, and Alice replies that she doesn't. Mariana tells Alice that she will be taking her out on a date night. Gael comes over to Callie with 2 glasses of champagne, at the art show, and it flashes to Davia dolled up, leaving the coterie. She runs into Gael, and he tells her that she looks amazing, and she totally does. Gael tells Davia that Yuri has a show, and he asks Callie to come with him. Davia gets excited and suggests that it's a date, and Gael corrects her, saying that it's just as friends. Callie is getting ready in her room, and she looks gorgeous in her dress. Mariana comes in and tells her that Gael asked her to go to an art show for moral support, and Mariana's comment, she's like, that's one sexy outfit of moral support. And I agree. That dress was everything. Mariana asks, no, sorry. It goes back and forth between Callie and Mariana and Davia and Gael's conversations. Gael says that he's being coy because he doesn't know what Callie wants and he doesn't want to get hurt again. Mariana asks Callie how she doesn't know that Gael used the art show as an excuse to ask her out. Callie replies that she doesn't think Gael's interested in her like that anymore, and I'm like, of course he is. Like, y'all both still feeling each other, but stop it. It flashes back to the art show, and Gael comes over to Callie with a glass of champagne. Gael comments on how absolutely gorgeous Callie looks, and she says the same. And the chemistry. Oh my goodness. Gael tells Callie that he is freaking out because there are a lot of famous artists in the industry at the art show. He points some of them out to her, and Callie replies that he should go and introduce himself to them. Gael says that he can't really say who he is, and Callie says that she'll go with him and pretend that she is his superfan. Gael's comment was adorable, and he says, like, you need to pretend. I'm like, aww. Yuri comes over to Gael and introduces himself to Callie. Yuri calls over Nikki and she meets Gael, and Yuri mentions that Gael's really talented. Nikki says that she would love to come and check out some of Gael's work. Mariana and Alice arrive at a bar, and Mariana comments on how bad the place is and says that she should have picked better. Alice apologizes, and Mariana tells her that was her first test and she just failed. She reassures her that they are there to help her learn how to be in the driver's seat, and tonight she is her date. Davia and Matt are at dinner, and they awkwardly talk at the same time. It flashes to Davia telling Gael that she has a date with Matt. Gael questions her about Dennis, and Davia replies that she still checks in with Dennis to see how he is doing, but she is ready to move on. Back to reality, Matt asks Davia if she has been to the Redwood National Park, and Davia says that she hasn't. She mentions that she likes trees, especially live ones. Davia's phone is buzzing, and it's a message from Dennis. Davia faces her phone down, and Matt asks her a question, and she's distracted because her phone keeps buzzing. She grabs her phone and goes to the bathroom for a quick minute. She looks at the message, and it's from Dennis, and it's a bunch of pictures of trees he saw on a hike. It flashes back to Gael and Davia's conversation. Gael says that he hopes Davia gives Matt a chance because he seems like a good guy, and Davia agrees. And so do I. He's so sweet. She leaves and tells Gael to have fun, and he tells her the same. Davia puts her phone on Do Not Disturb mode and goes back to Matt. Matt tells Davia that he ordered her some calamari, but with no tentacles because it freaks her out. Davia says that he remembered, and that was really sweet and cute. Matt asks her if there was a crisis at the coterie or any other wild animals running around, and Davia says that everything is fine and that she is all his for the night. It shows different scenarios of Alice and Mariana practicing on their date. Alice is bombing, and Mariana tells her that she needs to learn how to say no without lying. Matt tells Davia that he grew up in Mississippi and that she wants to hear his accent. He does it for her and tells her how things were in the South and how the men were straight-up gentlemen. He mentions that he learns to do ballroom dance at a cotillion, and Davia is fascinated by it. Alice finally learned how to be in the driver's seat on her date with Mariana. It shows different scenarios of Alice killing it now, and she's taking full control, and Mariana feels like a proud mama. It was really cute. Davia and Matt come back from their day, and she asks him about his dancing. She says she doesn't know how to waltz, and that it looks really romantic in movies. Matt says that he can teach her, and that they waltz in the kitchen in the coterie. Matt tries to kiss Davia, and she has a flashback of her and Dennis, and she freezes up. They both apologize, and Davia thanks him for the night. Matt says that he will see her at school later. Callie is putting on shaded lipstick, and Gael comes out of his room with some wine. Gael says that he can't believe how the night went, and it flashes to Gael talking with an artist. He says that he can't believe how Yuri was at the show, and he said that he's excited about his next chapter of his art. He thanks Callie for coming and comments on how he was talking to a lot of people, and Callie replies that that was the whole point of the event. It flashes back to Yuri, and he asks Gael if Callie is his girlfriend, and Gael corrects him and says that they are just friends. Yuri asks Gael if he would mind if he can get Callie's number, and side note, Yuri is definitely not Callie's type, so I'm like, dude, no. Dude, it's nice of you to want to try and holler, but no thank you. I'm like, hard pass. Back to reality, he tells Callie that Yuri asked him if he can get him her number. Callie questions Gael if she would be cool dating his boss, and Gael replies that if she wanted to, he wouldn't stand in her way. She says that she isn't interested in dating anybody right now. She says she has to work to do, and she leaves. You could tell that Callie was disappointed, and so was I, and I just think that Gael told Yuri no because he was kind of probably fearful of losing his job, but still, it's like, say what you mean to mean what you say. It was clear that Callie was somewhat open to seeing where Gael's head was at, but after hearing that he told his boss that he could get him her number, that made her feel like he's definitely not interested in her anymore, like she said earlier on in the episode. Mariana comes back from her date with Alice, and Callie and her catch up about their nights. Callie tells Mariana that Gael tried to set her up with his boss, and that he isn't interested in being more than friends. She says she has a lot of work to do on the case. Mariana says that her night was fun, and it flashes back to her date night with Alice. Mariana tells Alice that she has to stand up for herself and what she wants. Alice questions her if there is a relationship where she's not in the driver's seat, and back to reality, Mariana tells her that she lied about buying the gift for their moms. Callie questions Mariana why she lied about the gift, and Mariana replies that Callie is the one in the driver's seat in their relationship. They go back and forth about how Callie always makes the decisions, and Mariana feels like her opinion doesn't matter. Callie tells Mariana that when Mariana lies about decisions, it makes her feel like she can't trust her. Mariana says that she wants them to be a team, and says that she will learn to tell the truth, and Callie says that she will try to compromise. Mariana asks Callie what time is it, and Callie has an epiphany about the murder case. Alice gets a text from Ruby asking if she had a hot date and what happened to Sanjana. Alice replies then and says that it was just a friend date. It flashes back to Mariana and Alice talking about Ruby, and Alice telling her that she wants to be in a relationship with Ruby. Mariana gives Alice the courage to tell Ruby the truth. Alice tells her that she lied about dating Sanjana, and that she only did it to make her jealous. She texts Ruby and that she wants to be in a relationship with her, and Ruby replies that they can talk about it. Davia is in her room looking at the photos Dennis sent her. She FaceTimes him and they catch up for a quick minute. Dennis mentions that he wrote a new song, and Davia tells him that she wants to hear it. He starts singing, and then Davia joins in, and from that moment, I immediately started crying. These two have made me cry more times than I can count, and I'm not mad at it, because that is just a true testament to the amazing job Emma and Josh do as actors. Like, they really do pull on my heartstrings every time. Every time. Davia is emotional singing, and so am I watching them, as Davia and Dennis are singing, and shows separate shots of Dennis on the beach, looking at the sky, and Davia is on the rooftop on the coterie, looking out on the town. And my heart hurts because I was just so ready to see Demia start their relationship this season, but Davia deserves to be happy, and if that is with Matt, then so be it, because Matt is a really sweet and good guy, so... Callie is in Kathleen's office with Tony and Rowan, and she shows her a photo timestamp and the security camera's footage timestamp. There is a 5-minute difference in the timestamps, which means that Tommy was at the liquor store longer than they had thought. Tommy wouldn't have gotten back to the party until a minute before his friend was killed. Kathleen tells Callie great work, and Callie did that. Gael comes into Yuri's studio, and he overhears a woman and man talking about his art piece. The two people mention that Yuri said that he experimented with bolder colors and asymmetry, the same thing that Gael told Yuri earlier on. And this is the same art piece that Yuri was yelling and going off on Gael about because he executed his vision wrong from the sketch. The worst part of all of this, though, is that Yuri is selling Gael's painting for $50,000, and he signed his name at the bottom, claiming that he is the artist. Gael comes in and Yuri questions him, why is he there at the studio, and Gael replies that he came in early to clean up. And Yuri does like a little smirk, and Gael looks sick to his stomach, and I hate this. Like, just when I was starting to warm up to Yuri from last episode, because he opened up to Gael about his wife and daughter, he goes and does this BS. Like, Gael doesn't deserve this. Davia apologizes to Matt for how their date ended, and Matt also apologizes for trying to kiss her. Davia mentions that it isn't too soon, and it flashes back to Davia, Gael, Alice, and Kelly in the kitchen. Kelly asks Alice if there's any lofts available because she has a friend who's looking for an apartment. Alice says sure and that there might be a loft available soon, and mentions that it's Dennis. Gael asks Davia if she knew about this, and judging by the look on her face, she didn't because she looked absolutely crushed. Davia apologizes to Matt for pulling away when he tried to kiss her. She says that if she had a time machine, she would go back and do it all over again. Matt kisses her, and it was really cute. Of course, I miss Dennis, but I have no idea if he's coming back, but I hope he's not gone for good because I love his character. But in the meantime, Davia truly deserves to be happy, and Matt is the perfect person for her right now. Tony comes to congratulate Callie on the case. He pours them a drink and they cheers. He questions Callie about there's something still going on with Jamie, and Callie replies that there isn't. She says that she doesn't want to think about Jamie or anyone else. It shows Gael pacing back and forth with his phone. Gael sends Callie a "you up" text and anxiously waits for her response. That made me think of something else from Grownish. If you know, you know. The episode ends with the text from Gael popping up on Callie's phone, and the shot pans out, and Tony and Callie are making out. And I'm like, oh well, so much for a chance with Gael and Callie again. But hopefully it isn't over because I really, really like them together. To wrap up this video, I'm going to do 3 quick things. First, my quick thoughts on the episode. This episode, it had its good moments. It was somewhat of a filler, but it had its good moments. I liked seeing Gael and Callie together and not knowing what their other currently stands. Gael winded up missing his chance because she got together with Tony in the end, but hopefully things will turn around. Mariana and Alice had me cracking up. Davia and Matt were really cute, and I just want Davia to be happy. Yuri straight up stealing Gael's work was beyond wrong, and I'm interested to see what happens next with that. Second, my thoughts on next week's promo. It shows Malika kissing Deontay, don't care. Alice talking with Margaret Cho and wanting to switch things up with the comedy program. Callie is taking the lead on the murder case, and she goes up against Jamie, and Jamie interrupts Callie, and she lets him have it, and I was so here for it, and I cannot wait to see that moment. Third, I'm going to do a quick rapid fire of the episode. Favorite scene: Callie, Mariana, Davia, Gael, Alice, and Kelly playing a fun game of Woke and Broke. I always love the scenes where everyone is just together and having a good time. It was funny how Kelly was straight up changing the rules of the game, but she didn't even win it. So it's like, what was the point? Favorite quote: "That's a thing" by Alice, when Mariana tells her that you can ask for what you want and give yourself permission to have it. And she's like, that's a thing? Like, she never heard that before in her life, ever. Favorite duo: Mariana and Alice. Just seeing them on their date night and Mariana trying to help her was funny. Favorite look: Davia's red pattern dress for her date night with Matt was super cute. She looked beautiful and her heels were so cute. My WTF moment: Yuri completely stealing Gael's artwork and selling it for $50,000. That is so wrong and unethical, and I'm really interested to see how this is going to play out. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Good Trouble. I review other shows like Grownish, All American, Riverdale, and Legacies, and if those interest you, please check out those videos on my channel and subscribe. Let's keep the conversation going, and let me know your thoughts about the episode in the comments. I hope you guys have a great day, stay safe, and see you guys next week.